Hi, this is Nancy. You're out. It is September the 18th. It's Sunday, 2022, and welcome to News with Nancy. Hey, there were a few things I wanted to talk about today, so thanks for joining me. I sure appreciate it. I haven't talked to you guys in a little bit, but I will say that Fiona reaches hurricane strength and makes landfall, leaving all of Puerto Rico without power. I just pulled this off the internet, and Hurricane Fiona intensified overnight and became a hurricane today. It moved just south of Puerto Rico, bringing torrential rains up to 25 inches to some parts of the island. So, as of 5 p.m., the National Hurricane Center advisory said that after making landfall in Puerto Rico, Fiona is now moving west of Puerto Rico and it's heading for the Dominican Republic. So, tropical storm conditions will reach the Dominican Republic by Sunday evening, while heavy rains will continue into Monday in Puerto Rico. So, I wanted to make everyone aware of that and prayers for the people of Puerto Rico and of the Dominican Republic. I want to talk a little bit about the border crisis. We have, a lot of immigrants coming in through Florida and through Texas, and there's been a real influx of migrants, and these people have been shipped to different places throughout the United States. They were doing it at night, busing them and then putting them on airplanes and taking them to different places. Now, it looks like Governor DeSantis in Florida and Governor Abbott in Texas say enough is enough, and they're starting to ship, these migrants to different states that are sanctuary cities. And unfortunately, the sanctuary cities have not been very welcoming. The newest headline that really caught my eye was Martha's Vineyard residents, a lament lack of resources, even as island is flush with cash and beds. Now check this out. Martha's Vineyard, of course, is in Massachusetts. And it's a playground for many of the powerful Martha Vineyards people, but they couldn't care for 50 migrants who landed there unexpectedly on Wednesday. Now, local residents told Fox News Digital this weekend, but they found out that the real estate data and Massachusetts state resources indicate otherwise. The island towns are flush with cash, plenty of extra beds to help needy people. Edgartown, for example, boasts 9.8 million in free cash, budget surplus, according to the Massachusetts Department of Revenue. So they don't want to help the people. They want to ship them off, and they did, to Cape Cod military base. And this is really sad because people who do have the resources, who do have the wherewithal, won't help. So, what kind of society have we become? If you do have the resources, help these people. Everybody could take one person in until something was built or a facility was brought up to, you know, par for these people. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I just want to make you aware of what's going on. So Queen Elizabeth died this last week. It was a sad situation. When anybody dies, it's always sad. Biden paid his respects to the Queen. This comes from London, and it says U.S. President Joe Biden paid emotional tribute to Queen Elizabeth on the eve of her state funeral on Sunday, saying that Britain and the world had been lucky to have such a dignified and dedicated servant on the throne for 70 years. Now, Biden is among scores of dignitaries and royals from Europe, Asia, Africa, and Americas who have arrived in London for Monday's funeral. The Queen's death at 96 years of age left a giant hole on the global stage, he says. Now, there are other people who don't think that way, which is quite interesting to see the flip side of this. Her death has cast a shadow of solitude over the world, but there are other people who criticize Queen Elizabeth and the British monarchy for contributing to the oppressionism that continue to leave lasting effects today, those in Ireland, Asia, Africa, These countries include are still in the Commonwealth, a political association of nations, most of whom are ex-British colonies, but still pledge allegiance to the British monarchy. One Twitter user responded to the Queen's death with screenshots showing the popular coming-of-age sitcom um, Dairy Girls, which takes place during the troubles of a 30-year conflict surrounding British rule over Northern Ireland that lasted from the late 1960s to 1998. There's a lot of people who are not really happy about this. Some people demanded that England repay ex-colonies and nations that have been affected by British imperialism as recently as this spring. Countries like Jamaica, Belize, and the Bahamas have called for reparations for descendants of enslaved people under the British colonism, as Prince William and Kate, the Princess of Wales, toured the nations in March. So there's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of countries who have been really kept down. Of course, when we talk about Ireland is one of the main ones, and the Irish people were celebrating her death, which is a really sad thing to do, but that's what they were doing. They were chanting "Lizzie's in a box." And you could see like all the Irish people were step dancing to "Another One Bites the Dust" in front of Buckingham Palace. So there's a lot of unrest over there. Everything's not all hunky-dory like you would think it is, because you got to remember Queen Elizabeth, she was an active participant in colonism, making these colonies, and she held these people down. I can remember going to Scotland and realizing, how the English people were so rude and talked down to the Scottish people, and it was evident. So I don't know, there's always two sides, but God bless, Queen Elizabeth and her reign, and we'll see what happens now, right? Now that Charles is in charge. Anyway, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about a couple things that are really important. It's really important for us to stay centered right now. I've given you some news of some stuff that's going on in the world, but honestly, the only thing that's really going to keep us balanced and to keep us happy and joyful and healthy is to connect with a higher power. And I say this all the time, and it's absolutely true. Whether you take a few minutes in the morning or do it in the evening, just connect. And you can say God, you can say Goddess, you can say divine, you can say source, you can say higher power. It doesn't matter. There is a source energy that is our creator and that watches out for us. When we connect to that energy source, because we are made up of energy, then we become more happy and joyful and vibrant and healthy, and we stay balanced. And especially with all this craziness going on in the world, this is what keeps you balanced, is to connect with the divine. And so it's really important. Also, watch your words as you go out into the world. This is something that I'm like totally watching my words all the time, because we all have a tendency to speak before we think, so watch what you say, because our words have power. They have energy. Jesus talked about this in the Bible. Okay, how powerful our words are, and our thoughts and our emotions. So these are some things that are super important right now as the world changes. Also, I want to say connect with Mother Earth. Go outside. Just go outside. Go to the park, do whatever you can to just get out into nature, because it really truly helps you when you're out in nature and you're out with the animals and you're out with the trees, and it just feels better, and fresh air and plants, and just quiet the mind. Give yourself a few minutes, take a second, and just disconnect from the phone. And like, I heard my phone go off, and I'm like, seriously, I thought my phone was turned off. But just disconnect from everything, right? We're constantly looking at our phones or looking at our computers or looking at this or looking at that. Just chill for 5 minutes and quiet your mind. That's when you get the cool messages that come in. So I just want to talk about that, because it's super important that, yes, there's all these things going on in the world, but we have to stay balanced. And in order to stay balanced, we have to connect to that source energy, that divine energy. And because we're energetic beings, it's weird. It's like we're computers and we're connected to the motherboard or something, but that's it. And I've learned how to do this. And a lot of people that have come on the show, High Road to Humanity, have learned how to do it. And that's why I'm so adamant about teaching you guys about it. Hey, listen, so I am not on Healing Within TV anymore. Healing Within TV is no longer. So I don't know. God just says all these interesting things. He puts me in these little different directions. And so now all of my shows that I've recorded over the last couple of years are now on Binge TV Networks. Okay, BINGE, Binge TV Networks. And that's where you're going to find High Road to Humanity. I've been blessed with my own channel, High Road to Humanity. All the shows have just been moved over and it's free. So if you want to watch some of my shows, go over there to Binge and check it out. It would make me happy if you guys went and looked at my new channel. That would be great. This week, I just want to tell you who I've got coming up. I've got some really cool people coming up. I always have wonderful shows. I'm so blessed. And this week, I have Joseph Selby breaking through the limits of the brain. And that's going to be really interesting. I mean, this is going to be connect the dots between the discoveries of neuroscience and the meditation-born spiritual experience, as well as offering proven and practical ways to tap into life-changing, life-enhancing abilities of our super conscious potential. So he's going to come on the show. That's going to be really fun. And then I've got Achara Shunya, Roar Like a Goddess. That's going to be great. This is her book. Isn't that fabulous? Look at that cover. She's going to come on this week. Every Woman's Guide to Becoming Unapologetical, Powerful, Prosperous, and Peaceful. So that's going to be really fun. I can't wait to get into reading her book. And then I've got another guy coming on this week, guys. He's going to talk about the college cartel. What's happening with our colleges here in the United States and the Ivy League colleges and the elite schools and, all the different price fixing and everything that's going on with that. His name is Sahaj. Okay. So he's going to come on. And Sharda is his last name, Sahaj Sharda. And he's going to tell us what's happening with the colleges. So this is going to be a fun week on High Road to Humanity. So you guys, you can find me on TikTok under High Road to Humanity. I'm reading out, I just want to mention this. I've been reading out of a family Bible. And this Bible is from the late 1600s, early 1700s, and it reads completely different. It has different books than the Bible you would find today. But what I'm reading on TikTok under High Road to Humanity is a book that was written by Jesus's grandson. And he has the same name. His name is Jesus. And it's really interesting. And so if you want to check it out, you're welcome to. If you want a psychic reading, go to my website. Love doing readings for people. So, you can book your date and time there. If you have any questions, you can go to my website and send me a message, nancyyearout.com. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys have a terrific week.